Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and City Manager. My name is Deborah Paul McCullen, and I put in a public comment card. I'm a Riviera Beach resident and longtime Riviera Beach employee. And I wanted to bring to the public's attendance, because I've already brought it to your attendance, some issues that are going on at Phil Foster Park. Whereas the park is discriminating against Riviera Beach residents and residents from other local municipalities with 2 words that contain 7 letters. This is it, lot full. When you go down to Phil Foster Park, sometimes they have this sign at the entrance and they have the entrance blocked off. The entrance is blocked off a lot of times because it's high tide at Phil Foster Park. During high tide at Phil Foster Park, they allow the dive schools to come in and conduct classes. Now, if you are a diver or if you own a boat and come in with a boat trailer, you are allowed to enter the park. But if you're me or you, and if they don't know you, you will not be allowed in. On Saturday, my husband put together a picnic that he does every year for back to school for the kids in our neighborhood. He got to the park at 5 o'clock in the morning to secure a picnic table. I got there at about 9:45. When I arrived, the entrance was already blocked. They had the sign out. They had the sheriff there. They had the park ranger. Lot full, you can't come in. So I said, but sir, I got for a picnic. Can I just come in and drop it off and leave? And it's like, no, you gotta wait until we open. So I said, well, I live here and I'm a city employee, and it just so happens I had my employee badge in my purse that I usually remove when I leave work on Friday. Showed him my badge. He said, but okay, you can come in, you can unload, and then you have to leave. When I went in, unloaded, I went to the west side of the park, which I call the back, which is where the pavilions are. Parking lot completely empty. There was only 2 cars back there, but yet they had the front entrance blocked. So I have written letters to our city council members, and I thank everyone who responded. I know that everyone has different issues that we're dealing with in the city for our city council persons. I want to thank Commissioner McBernard for calling Senator Robert Powell, and they said that they are working on it. They are scheduling meetings with our county administrator, but something has to be done. People are being turned away. People are not being allowed into the park, and I believe that we need to take immediate action, because denying us entrance into a public place is a violation of our civil rights. Thank you.
Thank you. Willis Williams, Fane Lozman, Mary Graham.
Madam Chair, while he's coming, I was denied access to the park as well.
Madam Chair, that has happened to me as well before, about a year or so ago.
This has to stop.
So I understand what she's saying.
We all have experiences, and so it's going to be important that we participate in a joint meeting with the Board of County Commissioners, with the County Administrator. Commissioner Bernard is the District 7 representative. However, if you all will remember, some years ago, Phil Foster Park was taken out of District 7 and placed in District 1. So we need to be aware that the conversation that we also need to be having is with Commissioner Hal Valashay, who is the District 1 representative.
Item number 18 is the discussion and deliberation on the access to Phil Foster Park, which was added on by Councilperson Davis.
Councilman Davis, you have comments?
So I guess we put this item on the agenda to definitely show the community that they have our support. The same type of energy that we just put into that last item, I would like to see us put into our residents. I would like to see that we get an expedited meeting with the county staff to talk about what's been taking place, and spend the same time and energy that we spent on this item on protecting and taking care of our residents to have access to Phil Foster Park, and just to see how long it's going to take. Maybe next month really soon. At least something, a meeting scheduled just between the two staff members to at least to get the dialogue going. I definitely will offer my services to be there with the two staff and maybe Commissioner Balashay, or Mike Bernard, or whoever it is that represents that district, to at least say, hey, this is a situation that's been reported. We need someone there tomorrow morning, making sure that, remember this upcoming weekend, making sure that this is being handled properly before we get to a meeting. I mean, same type of energy we put in this last item, we need to put into our people.
Thank you, sir. Are there any comments from the board with regards to that discussion? I do want to state for the record that I immediately reached out to Vice Mayor Mac Bernard and Administrator Baker to make them aware of the issues that we have been facing here as it relates to Phil Foster Park. I just sent a correspondence to ask the Vice Mayor if he had scheduled a meeting, because the initial meeting is to be held with Administrator Baker and the appropriate staff. And as soon as that information is provided, I will certainly share it with the city manager so that she can share it with the council. So that we can plan to perhaps have the Vice Mayor and Administrator come before us. I do know that our Parks Director, Mr. Blankenship, has indicated that he would be happy to reach out to the Park Rangers, but I think that we need to elevate this a little higher than the Park Rangers at this particular time. So I would suggest that we invite Vice Mayor to come as our district representative, but we will also need to have a meeting with the representative who is responsible for Phil Foster Park and have him come before us and invite him to come before us to discuss our concerns.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Davis, you're recognized.
Could we have Ms. Hall maybe available maybe for a phone conference during that staff meeting so we can make sure that it's very clear about what happened back in 2017 versus this year, and we have a very clear direction about where we want to go as a city and where all this information came from, so we can make sure that everybody's on one accord.
She has been invited, and I believe that Vice Mayor Bernard reached out to her.
Good.
So she is included, and we are on top of that.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Mayor, you're recognized.
I'm sorry, Vice Mayor to Mayor. I certainly would like to be involved in the discussion, since we have a mayor from the county and the mayor for the city of Riviera Beach should definitely be involved as well. So please include me in whatever.
Yes, you would be included, as we are inviting him to come here before the board, since we all cannot accompany each other to the meeting. So we're going to have him come.
If there's a conference call, make sure I'm on the conference call, Madam Manager.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any further discussion on that item? Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Welcome.